Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to our devotional for today. It's a great reading that I have for you. It's a great lesson. But just to recap very quickly, Jesus is hung upon the cross between two thieves. The one thief has responded to who he is. The other one had rejected him. And Jesus now in the reading yesterday was crying out, "It is finished." Now we realize that he wasn't finished, but his mission was complete down here on earth. Now, standing at the foot of his cross, someone who had been doing this for probably many years was the centurion who was in charge of the people who had crucified Jesus. Now, a centurion was a man of great authority. He would have stood and he would have conducted the operations of the crucifixion, and he had done it many times. He was a man hardened to crucifixion. He was a man who was lacking deeply in compassion and understanding and empathy. After all, for him, it was just a job to put people to death. But when he saw Jesus die, something happened in his heart. This is simply what it says. And when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus heard his cry and saw him die, he said this, "Surely this man was the Son of God." What a great declaration. To what length did Jesus have to go to show him that he was the Son of God? To die in front of him was a great testimony. In fact, it was probably one of the final living testimonies of Jesus being who he said he was. You know, there's a theory out there about you can tell a lot about a person by how they die. And for believers, we believe that believers should die well. We don't believe that believers should go sniveling across the line into eternity. We believe that believers should walk into eternity with a sense of confidence and a great peace. And I'm not saying this in any way to be facetious or to belittle anybody who may have died, but think about it. Think about this thing called death. We leave this world after all the trauma and the sadness and all the tests that we've had to go through. And now it's all over. And we now get the opportunity to walk into heaven. That should give for us a great sense of hope, a great sense of peace. I'm not taking away from the fact that there will be aspects of deep emotion, of leaving loved ones behind, of the suffering that can sometimes go with that. And when we suffer because of pain, that's one thing. But when we suffer because of the fear of death, that's another thing. Believers out there, listen carefully. We as believers have a great hope. We should march into heaven like the Apostle Paul says, "I've finished the race. I've kept the faith. I've run it, I've done it, and I'm ready to go." And when we leave this planet like that, that is such a great testimony to people around us. I wonder how many people, unbelieving people, haven't become believers as a result of seeing their Christian parents, brothers, sisters, or children die as believers. When we see people die with great confidence, when we see people die with even, can I say, a sense of boldness to say, "It is finished, it is done, I'm ready to go," and that in itself could be your final word, your final testimony to the people around you. So as believers, we don't do this just so that we can be a good testimony. We do this because we have great hope. We have a wonderful belief and a truth of the fact of heaven awaits us. And if we truly believe that, not only would it change our view of death, but it would change our view of life as well. We would live differently if we really believed that. We academically ascend to these supposed facts, I guess, in many ways. We say, "Oh yeah, I believe in Jesus. I believe he died. I believe there's a heaven." Well, I got to tell you, people, I'm not sure that we believe it until we believe it enough to be able to live it. So I would encourage you today. I know that there are many out there who, like myself, are getting on a little bit, and the older I get, the more excited I get about eternity. To be able to go into the presence of God, whatever shape or form that is. And the scripture doesn't always give us too much clarity on what heaven is about. But all we know is it's going to be awfully amazing. And to be able to know down here on earth that that's what it's going to be like there. Let's learn what it means, people, like the martyrs of old, like the people, the heroes of the faith, to die well, let's plan our exit strategy, and let's do it sooner rather than later. Begin to dwell and put your mind and cast your mind on eternity and the beauty of heaven. Think much about heaven. And then when it's just across the doorstep, oh my word, what a joy it is going to be. I had an experience once, let me tell you quickly, of going to a hospital to visit two people. Both of them were dying. The one was an unbeliever, and she was in the one room. And when I walked into that room just to see the family at their request, I was there. This woman was cursing. She was angry. She was mad. And she didn't like me. And then I walked into the other room, and there was a couple, an elderly couple. The husband was soon to go to eternity. And he was holding the hand of his wife, or she was holding his hand. And they were praying, and they were reading the scriptures. And in that room, there was just a sense of great peace, a great sense of wellness, of soul that was in that particular room. And I walked out, and these two rooms were right next door to each other. I remember standing outside and saying, what made the difference here? Why was the one so angry and bitter and so angry with everything, and the other one so much at peace? Well, people, you know the answer. Get your life right with God. Look to eternity. Live this life with eternity in mind, and watch what kind of death you have. Death is not a morbid thing, people. It's not the end. Who says it's the end? It's the beginning of something far greater. Let's live with that in mind. Go and have a good day. Bye.